Do you ever feel like the joy you once knew is slowly slipping away? Like despite all your life experience and wisdom, there's a quiet sense of disappointment or even unhappiness that just won't budge. It's a common feeling, one that many wonderful people over 60 experience, and it's heartbreaking to see. We often think that by a certain age, we've figured it all out, that happiness should naturally just be there. But what if I told you that some of the very habits we unconsciously adopt as we get older are actually robbing us of that precious happiness? What if these aren't just minor missteps, but profound errors that, left unaddressed, can truly diminish our golden years? In this conversation today, we're going to bravely look at 5 surprising mistakes that often stand between older adults and the vibrant, joyful life they deserve. We'll uncover what these mistakes are and, more importantly, how to shift away from them, opening the door to a richer, more fulfilling existence. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because there's something truly surprising waiting for you, something that could completely change your perspective. So, let's dive right into the first surprising mistake that can quietly erode our happiness. And it's one that often starts subtly, almost unnoticed. This first mistake is the gradual retreat from social connection, the slow drifting away from friends and community. Think about it. As we get older, our lives naturally shift. Children grow up and move away. Lifelong friends might relocate or pass on, and the daily hustle of work fades. It's easy to find ourselves spending more time alone, perhaps comfortable in our own quiet routines. We might tell ourselves that we've earned this peace, this solitude, and while quiet time is indeed precious, an excess of it, a genuine withdrawal from meaningful connections, becomes a significant barrier to happiness. The impact of this social retreat is profound. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a state that affects our physical and mental health. Our brains thrive on interaction, on conversation, on sharing experiences. When we limit these connections, we miss out on vital mental stimulation, the warmth of companionship, and the feeling of being understood. We lose the opportunities for laughter, for sharing our joys and our sorrows, for having someone simply listen. It's like a plant that isn't getting enough sunlight. It might survive, but it won't truly flourish. So, what can we do to counter this tendency? It starts with a conscious decision to reach out. It doesn't have to be grand gestures. It could be as simple as making a regular phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or committing to a weekly coffee date with a neighbor. Consider joining a local club or group that aligns with your interests, perhaps a walking group, a book club, a community choir, or even a local bridge or bingo night. Volunteering is another wonderful way to connect with others while also contributing to something meaningful. Remember Jane. She felt incredibly isolated after her husband passed. For months, she just stayed home. But then her daughter suggested a local gardening club. Reluctantly, Jane went to one meeting. She found herself surrounded by people who shared her love for roses, and before she knew it, she was meeting up with new friends for plant swaps and garden tours. Her world and her happiness blossomed. And speaking of new things, that leads us perfectly to the second shocking mistake that can sabotage our happiness: a rigid refusal to embrace novelty and a steadfast commitment to old routines, often coupled with a dismissive attitude towards learning new things. It's that familiar phrase we sometimes hear: "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth, and believing it can seriously limit your joy. We often find immense comfort in predictability, in doing things exactly as we've always done them. The world outside seems to be changing at a dizzying pace, and it's natural to feel a bit overwhelmed by new technologies, new ideas, or just new ways of doing things. Sticking to what's familiar feels safe, but safety shouldn't come at the cost of vibrancy. The danger here is stagnation. When we stop learning, our minds can become less agile, less curious, we miss out on the incredible satisfaction that comes from mastering something new, from broadening our perspectives. Think about it. The world is rich with experiences and knowledge waiting to be discovered. When we stubbornly cling to the past, we risk becoming bored, complacent, and frankly, feeling a bit out of touch. Imagine Tom, who swore he'd never touch a computer, let alone a smartphone. He saw them as complicated nuisances. But as his grandchildren grew up, they communicated primarily through video calls and shared photos online. Tom felt increasingly left out. Eventually, with a little encouragement, he decided to take a basic computer class at the local community center. At first, it was frustrating, but gradually, he started sending emails, looking up old hobbies online, and yes, even video chatting with his grandkids. The sheer joy he felt connecting with them in this new way, and the pride in conquering something he thought impossible, completely re-energized him. His happiness soared because he decided to try something new, proving that truly, you absolutely can teach an old dog new tricks, and those tricks can open up a world of delight. So, as we consider the immense value of connecting with others and the sheer joy of lifelong learning, let's now turn our attention to another mistake that subtly yet powerfully diminishes our happiness. A mistake rooted in how we interact with our own past. Now that we've discussed the immense value of connecting with others and the sheer joy of lifelong learning, let's now turn our attention to another mistake that subtly yet powerfully diminishes our happiness. A mistake rooted in how we interact with our own past. This third mistake is the tendency to constantly dwell on past regrets, to idealize bygone eras, or to become trapped in a loop of what-ifs and if-onlys. It's easy to look back on our lives and see perceived missteps, missed opportunities, or moments when we wish we'd acted differently. Perhaps we think about career choices, relationships, or decisions that, in hindsight, seem less than perfect. There's a certain nostalgia that's beautiful, a fondness for good memories. But dwelling on the negative aspects of the past can become a heavy chain, binding us to a time that no longer exists and preventing us from truly experiencing the present. The consequence of this backward-looking focus is a deep sense of lingering sadness, guilt, or anxiety. We lose precious moments of today by replaying yesterday's tape. Our minds are powerful, and if we feed them a steady diet of regret, they will respond with unhappiness. We might also fall into the trap of idealizing the past, remembering only the good parts and comparing them unfavorably to our present circumstances. This kind of thinking steals our gratitude for what we have right now, and it robs us of the energy needed to create new, positive experiences. Sarah, for example, spent years lamenting the career path she didn't take. Every conversation seemed to circle back to, if only I had. It wasn't until a friend introduced her to the practice of mindfulness and daily gratitude journaling that she began to shift her focus. By consciously seeking out things to be thankful for each day, the warmth of the sun, a kind word from a stranger, the taste of her morning tea, she slowly began to appreciate the richness of her current life. She learned to acknowledge past experiences as lessons, not failures, and the weight lifted, making space for genuine present moment joy. Moving on from the mental traps we set for ourselves, let's explore a fourth mistake, one that often has a very physical manifestation but equally impacts our happiness: the pervasive belief that it's too late to prioritize our physical health, leading to a neglect of diet, exercise, and overall well-being. How many times have we heard or even thought, "I'm too old for that," or "What's the point now? The damage is already done." It's easy to succumb to this mindset, especially as our bodies change, aches and pains become more frequent, and the energy levels of our youth feel like a distant memory. The idea of starting an exercise routine or drastically changing our eating habits can seem daunting, overwhelming, or simply futile. But this belief that it's too late is a profound mistake that truly robs us of vitality and happiness. Our physical health is intrinsically linked to our mental and emotional well-being. When we neglect our bodies, we experience reduced energy, which impacts our ability to pursue hobbies, socialize, or simply enjoy daily activities. We become more susceptible to preventable health issues, and our mobility might decline, leading to a sense of dependence and frustration. This isn't about becoming an Olympic athlete or achieving a perfect body. It's about maintaining functionality, comfort, and the capacity to live life on our own terms for as long as possible. Emily, for instance, used to dismiss exercise entirely, thinking her arthritic knees made it impossible. She felt sluggish and her mood was often low. But her doctor gently suggested starting with just 10 minutes of walking a day. Reluctantly, she began. Those 10 minutes slowly became 15, then 20, and soon she was walking briskly around her neighborhood. The increased movement not only eased her joint pain somewhat, but also gave her more energy and significantly boosted her mood. She felt a renewed sense of independence and strength. Similarly, David, who used to rely heavily on convenience foods, decided to try cooking one healthy meal a day. He discovered a joy in experimenting with fresh vegetables and lean proteins, and the positive changes in his digestion and energy were immediate. His kitchen became a place of creative expression and nourishment, rather than just a place to grab a quick bite. These small, consistent steps dramatically improved their quality of life and, consequently, their happiness. So, with our bodies feeling more cared for and our minds less burdened by the past, there's one more crucial element that often goes overlooked. A final mistake that can leave a significant void where happiness should be. It's a mistake that deals with the very essence of what drives us forward each day. So, with our bodies feeling more cared for and our minds less burdened by the past, there's one more crucial element that often goes overlooked. A final mistake that can leave a significant void where happiness should be. It's a mistake that deals with the very essence of what drives us forward each day, the failure to cultivate new purposes and set new goals in our later years. For many, retirement can feel like crossing a finish line, and once that initial exhilaration wears off, there's often a quiet, unsettling question that emerges: what now? The structured routine of work, raising a family, or achieving specific life milestones often provides a built-in sense of purpose. When these frameworks disappear, it's easy to feel adrift, irrelevant, or simply bored. We might find ourselves with abundant free time, but no clear direction, leading to a sense of emptiness that deeply impacts our happiness. The impact of this lack of purpose can be profound. Without something to strive for, something to look forward to, or a way to feel useful and engaged, apathy can set in. This isn't just about being busy. It's about having a reason to get up in the morning, a sense of meaning in our days. It's about feeling that our unique skills, wisdom, and experience still have value to offer the world. When this is missing, depression can silently creep in, and our lives can feel aimless, lacking the vibrancy and satisfaction that comes from contributing or growing. Think of Arthur, a retired engineer. For the first year after retirement, he felt a profound sense of loss. He missed the problem-solving, the camaraderie, the feeling of contributing. He spent his days watching television and felt his spirit dimming. Then, a neighbor mentioned a vacant lot in their community that was becoming an eyesore. Arthur, drawing on his organizational skills, decided to rally some neighbors to turn it into a community garden. He organized meetings, drew up plans, and delegated tasks. The process of creating something beautiful and useful, of seeing the joy it brought to others, reignited his passion and gave him a powerful new purpose. He wasn't just a retired engineer. He was the proud architect of a vibrant community space. Similarly, Margaret, a former teacher, found herself missing the intellectual stimulation of her career. She decided to volunteer at a local literacy center, tutoring adults who struggled with reading. The feeling of helping someone unlock the world of words, of seeing their confidence grow, gave her immense satisfaction and a profound sense of renewed purpose that far surpassed her expectations. So, what we've talked about today are not just minor missteps, but 5 truly shocking mistakes that can silently undermine our happiness as we age. We've explored the quiet danger of allowing ourselves to drift into social isolation, losing the vital warmth of human connection. We've seen how stubbornly refusing to learn new things and clinging rigidly to old routines can lead to mental stagnation and a dulling of our zest for life. We've confronted the heavy burden of dwelling on past regrets and idealizing bygone days, which robs us of the joy and presence of today. We've also shone a light on the self-limiting belief that it's too late to care for our physical health, a mistake that saps our energy and independence. And finally, we've realized the profound importance of cultivating a new sense of purpose and setting fresh goals, preventing the emptiness that can creep in when we feel we have nothing left to strive for. Each of these areas, when neglected, chips away at our potential for true joy. But here's the encouraging part. Recognizing them is the first, most powerful step towards reclaiming your happiness. You have the wisdom, the resilience, and the capacity to make small, impactful shifts. Remember, every day is a new opportunity, a fresh page waiting for you to write your next chapter. Don't let these common pitfalls define your golden years. Instead, choose connection, choose curiosity, choose presence, choose vitality, and choose purpose. Small changes, consistently applied, can make an astonishing difference. It's about nurturing yourself, mind, body, and spirit, so you can truly flourish. And here's that something surprising I promised you at the beginning. It's a simple truth, yet profoundly powerful. The biggest mistake of all is believing that happiness is something that happens to you, rather than something you actively create and cultivate, day by day, choice by choice. Many people believe that happiness is a state you arrive at once you have everything perfect, or that it's simply a byproduct of good fortune. But the surprise is this: happiness, especially as we age, is less about external circumstances and more about internal habits and perspectives. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about how you respond to them. It's not about having fewer problems. It's about finding joy despite them. The shocking truth is that you are far more in control of your own happiness than you might realize. It's an ongoing practice, a garden you tend. This realization itself is perhaps the most empowering truth of all, giving you the power to transform your future, starting today. I truly hope this conversation has given you some fresh insights and encouragement. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these mistakes, or perhaps other strategies you found helpful in staying happy and engaged. Please share your experiences in the comments below. Your wisdom could be just what someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And consider subscribing to my channel for more supportive content designed to help you live your best life at every age. Remember, your later years can be the most rewarding, vibrant, and joyful chapter of all. Embrace the journey and live your best life every single day.